Yo, what's going on, everybody? Dave Larkin with Odd Shopper, and we're talking Monday Night Football doubleheader again. We should do this every single Monday. Am I wrong? Just give me. Plus, you got to sleep a little bit earlier if you don't want to finish the second game. You got a 7:15 game here on the East Coast. And last week I was up till like midnight finishing out that second game, but that's okay. We caught the first one. All I can say is this much. Let's wash that stink off of us from the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. If you watch the picks for every game video, we had that 3-team 10-point team. I should have known. Whenever you tease them like that, you know that one team is just going to disgrace themselves. The Chiefs routed the Bears. Easy work. San Francisco took care of the Giants. And then you had the Dallas Cowboys lose by 12 to a tanking Arizona. Credit the Cardinals. They've had more life than the Bears have this year. The Broncos, who gave up 70 to the Dolphins, but a 12-point loss. We needed a field goal win. Whatever. We move on. That's okay. Really weird set of games, though. A lot of injuries on both sides. Obviously, Joe Burrow being an issue that we have to take in mind. But I got some props for you no matter what. So we'll come out of this one with some picks. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you like this type of stuff and you want to continue to see more free content. Leave a comment down below. What are your favorite picks for today? And of course, follow me on the X, formerly Twitter, at Loughy_D, LOUGHY_D. All right, let's make this happen. First up, Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Bucs. 5-point spread here. We talked about it on Wednesday when I released the other video. I said we'd have more follow-up information. Really, what we have is a bunch of guys that came off the injury report for Philly. Bradbury's going to be back. Reed Blankenship's back. That's good news. Kenny Gainwell's back for whatever that's worth. I wish he wouldn't be so they could just give DeAndre Swift all the work. But that's good. Avonte Maddox on the IR. That's not good. And I'll tell you why in a moment. And on the other side, Vita Vea expected to play. Devin White expected to play. They've got a few injuries, though, like Carlton Davis seems like a legitimate questionable. He was out last week, and they could certainly use him against this, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith action that they've got in Philly. He's questionable, so we'll see what happens there. Kalijah Cansey's out already, defensive end. So that's not that good. At the same time, though, like if Vita Vea's in there and Devin White, they should be fine. This is a good defense. Also a defense that's good at slowing down mobile run quarterbacks. Definitely a different situation from last week to this week with the offense of Chicago and with Philly. But yeah, Justin Fields couldn't get anything going on the ground. I think they do a decent job of limiting Jalen Hurts here as well. Strong run defense, although the Eagles have arguably the best offensive line in the league. This is a fun matchup because both of these teams are strong where each other is strong as well, right? The one spot, though, that I think the Eagles are weakest defensively is going to be in the middle of the field. And we saw that Bill O'Brien worked this out against them in week one. If they had a decent wide receiver, they may have won this game. They, with Mac Jones and Bill O'Brien, decided that they were going to get the ball out as quickly as possible, right? We saw that. We saw a big game from Bourne. We saw a big game from the tight ends in New England. I think what you could see here, for a guy like Godwin, who lines up in the slot almost 50% of the time, I think you could see a big game out of Chris Godwin. Right now, at BetMGM, you have his receiving yards prop at 53.5. And by the way, if you're not at BetMGM yet, you were going to bet this anyway, or you were going to bet anyway, bet $10, get $200 in bonus bets. You sign up, it takes a minute. Link in the description and in chat. All you do is click that. Deposit $10 when you sign up, okay? Put a bet on tonight's game. Win or lose, you're getting $200 in bonus bets. The best way to get money is take the free kind. Even if you lose your bet, who gives a shit? Because now you've got $200 in bonus bets that you didn't have. And this isn't bet 100, get 200. This isn't get a risk-free bet. This is bet 10, and after it settles, win or lose, you got $200. Someone comes up to you on the street and was like, yo, give me $10. I'm going to give you 200. You'd think it was odd, but you do it because the risk is certainly worth the reward. And here there's zero risk. $200 on 10, must be 21 years old to gamble. If you have a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But this is where I'd be going. The best odds on Godwin prop for receiving are at BetMGM. Not bad at DraftKings either, but you want to be on as many books as possible anyway. Godwin, 53.5 receiving yards. I think they look to get the ball out early. The last thing you want is for Baker Mayfield to be dealing with that massive push from that defensive front from the Philadelphia Eagles all game. That won't work. You have to get the ball out early. And unlike last game where Bradbury was out, they don't have they don't have the luxury of hitting the boundaries. You know what I mean? That's yes, you have Mike Evans, great football player. He should be able to do some damage. But Darius Slay and Bradbury are both there. They have no Maddox in the middle of the field is where they struggle. If they can't get to Mayfield because they're getting the ball out quick, I think Chris Godwin, who's one of the best yards after the catch players in the league, benefits most from this. So I'm going BetMGM or DraftKings if you want, but take the free money over 53.5 receiving yards. This is 55.5 at other spots. So I'll take that. I'll take that extra 2 yards off. Let me get there. And if you're asking me about the spread or the total, I'm staying away from the spread here. I would lean Philly -4.5 on FanDuel. Not bad. But I probably would hit the under if I'm taking either side of a total or money line or a spread. I would go under 45. We took the under 46 on Wednesday, but under 45 still looks okay. I think this could be a lower scoring game. My favorite spot, though, Chris Godwin over 53.5 receiving yards. Now let's talk about a game that has even more question marks. Cincinnati at home, laying 2 against the LA Rams. An LA Rams offense, an LA Rams team who just deactivated Cam Akers and shipped him off after saying he was going to play an integral role this season. An LA Rams team that had no Cooper Kupp to start the year. And Puka Nacua has more fantasy points, for those of you fantasy players out there. If you're playing PPR, he has more fantasy points on receptions this year than A.J. Brown or Jamar Chase, both of whom play tonight, have total fantasy points. Matter of fact, A.J. Brown or Jamar Chase has 16 fantasy points. Puka Nacua has 25 points on receptions. He has 35 targets and 25 receptions over his first 2 games. It's ridiculous. So they're finding ways to make it work. Matthew Stafford finally looks healthy. That's great. And Kyren Williams has been the guy. If you want to go out on a limb and say that Joe Burrow plays and you want to lay the points, or you want to go out on a limb and say he doesn't play and Jake Browning comes in and they get dumped on at home and fall to 0-3, one team over the last 20 years has gone 0-3 to start the season and made the playoffs. It was the 2018 Houston Texans. So things are dire right now for the Cincinnati Bengals. But I don't want to do that. I'm not betting just to bet. And I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm laying the points. And then Joe Burrow plays and I go, all right, that's what's up. And then Joe Burrow stinks because his calf is still hurt and they've limited the playbook again, which we've seen them do. Or on the other side, I'm like, you know what, let me take the points with the Rams, which I might honestly just lean that way because their offense actually looks pretty good. And the Bengals defense, particularly on the ground, has been gashed. Although the run blocking for the Rams hasn't been great. Stafford has looked good, but the Bengals pass defense has at least been not bad, right? You look at those first 2 games against the Browns and the Bengals, but I'd rather stay away here and look towards a prop. We don't know if Joe Burrow's playing. I mean, how can I confidently tell you guys without lying through my teeth that one of these sides is much better than the other with no news? He did practice with the starters, so I can give you the information you need to maybe make a decision yourself. On Sunday, he practiced with the starters, but Saturday and Friday, he was with the scout team. And apparently he's lobbying to play. But do you want to risk re-aggravation of this? Like, Cincinnati is the type of team that if Joe Burrow gets healthy, they could defy the odds and go 0-3 to start the season and then end up, winning 10 straight games. Like if he's healthy, this is a really good team. I don't know if you want to run that risk today. I think there's a good chance he doesn't play. So I'm not going to take the risk there. What I will say is Kyren Williams played 95% of snaps, 95% of snaps last week. Okay. He ran 48 routes. 48 routes, was targeted 10 times. 83.5 rushing plus receiving yards today against the Bengals team that has allowed 5 yards per attempt. Number one, 5 yards per attempt to start the season on the ground. And if you take it one step further, the Cincinnati Bengals on the ground have allowed 178 and 206 rushing yards. I think if you're going to see Williams, now that Akers has gone on the field for almost 100% of snaps, I like that there for sure. I went over to our website, oddshopper.com, and I just typed in Kyren Williams' name to see where the best odds were for this. Total rushing plus receiving. It's 87.5 yards on FanDuel. It's 83.5 on BetMGM and DraftKings right now. Promos for both of them are bet 10, get 200 in bonus bets. So you're making out regardless. But 83.5 instead of 87.5, give me that all day long. Kyren Williams is where I'd be looking here. That's the spot for me. I'm not laying us the points or taking the points right now when we have no idea what's going on with Burrow. So let's go and win some bets today. Let's get back on track, and we'll see you back here Wednesday. Picks for every game. Enjoy the night, guys. Doubleheader on Monday. You just can't beat it. Peace.